Hello, good afternoon. This is Kenya Rockman, author and founder of the Child Support Hustle, and I am going to talk about the stimulus and tax offsets and child support. I've been getting a lot of questions about how that's going to proceed because the first one, remember, was offset for child support arrears. The second one was not supposed to be touched. So, thank you for joining, everybody. Please click the like button, share. I don't know if you can share on here, I'm not sure. But the third round, the rule of the that they can't offset or touch the the I'm sorry, the stimulus is not going to carry on to the third round. And I'm going to explain to you why. I was curious myself. All this affects everybody, but especially those that owe child support or allegedly owe child support arrears, because as you know, if there's taxes owed or child support owed, they will offset that amount of money to apply it to arrears. A lot of times that the arrears are owed to the state or the government and not to the other parent. So it end up going back to the government. So as I said, the rules are not extended to the situation of filing for missing stimulus money on your 2020 tax return. So a lot of people haven't received the second round of stimulus. So that goes into, are you going to get, is it going to be offset because it's now tax season? And so that's the question. So that rule is not extended for the 2020 tax return for outstanding debt, past due child support, and unpaid student loans. The IRS can withhold some of the updated stimulus as a recovery rebate credit. So that's something new. Um, and what that is, the stimulus checks, the recovery rebate credit, according to MSN, are joined at the hip because they're advances in your credit. It's a credit advance from the IRS. So when you filed your 18-19 taxes, that was based off the first stimulus. The second stimulus was based off 2020 taxes that we hadn't received yet. So now we're into that tax season. So this all goes into this recovery rebate credit. I'm sorry I keep getting tongue tied. I haven't been on. We had all this going on down here in Texas. It was that's a whole different thing. But I'm not gonna get off topic. But so let me get in the groove of things because this is important information. It's going to help you guys. It explained a lot to me as far as the stimulus. So, like I said, I just wanted to share. Um, so, if the combined total of your two stimulus checks is less than the RRC amount, you may be able to get the difference back on the 2020 return. Okay. If the amount exceeds the credit, you don't have to repay the difference. That is what's supposed to happen when you don't owe child support debt. So if you don't owe any child support debt, that's supposed to happen. You're supposed to get that money back if it exceeds, or you don't have to pay. But that's not the case for child support arrears, tax debt, and student loans. Even the exemption for student loans seems to be off the table with this third round of stimulus money and this and income tax this year. So the RRC is subject to offset garnishments if you owe back taxes, child support, arrears, and certain other debts. I'm sorry. Unlike the stimulus checks, there's no special exemption for offset and garnishments for the RRC credit. The government, banks, creditors, and debt collectors may be able to take part of any refund you get in 2020, even if the refund is solely based on the recovery rebate credit. So there's the answer in a nutshell. If you didn't get your stimulus, the second stimulus, and you're filing your taxes now and you're waiting for your other stimulus, your second stimulus that you were supposed to get, you're not going to get it if you owe. The reason why is that this exception was limited. This is where they catch you. There's always a catch. Is that exemption was only for advance payments. So that was the stimulus. I know, DeMarcus. I know. So that's the catch. It was only if you got the advance payment, i.e., the stimulus money before your taxes, because it's a tax credit. So now, if you haven't received it yet, and you try to get it, it's not considered an advance payment. It's retroactively revised and to the CARES Act as well. So even if you didn't get your first stimulus and you file your taxes and you try to get the stimulus, get your stimulus, this rebate recovery credit will take your money. They'll take your money based on this because it's not an advanced payment. If you're eligible for the stimulus money through RRC, but you owe child support, some or all of your credit could be withheld to pay the debt. Surprise, surprise. That's exactly what it is. They're just paying themselves. They're making it seem like they want to stimulate the economy. And then the second stimulus, everybody was, that's a good thing because people are out here struggling. So they went on and, said, we're going to pay the $600. But the catch is they didn't pay it fast enough. So now when you go in and try to claim your stimulus, they're going to say it's not an advance payment and you're not going to get it. Hey, Ethan, thanks for joining. I am. Thank you so much. Thank you. So that's the gist of it. But there's other information out, especially from the IRS Taxpayer Advocate Service. And they're putting out information because they're saying that that's not fair to taxpayers. And when I read this stuff to you, that they're saying it's not fair to parents either that allegedly owe child support debt, because it's all tied into one. All the things that they're saying that the Taxpayer Advocate Services applies to parents. It's just that parents, non-custodial parents, fathers mostly don't have advocates like myself. I'm going, that we're not out here that support, that are being heard, I should say, like the Taxpayer Advocate Program. Their services are way bigger than a parent that's going to, or an advocate that's fighting for the non-custodial parent's right to receive their tax refund, especially when it's owed to the state. Oh, that Bradley Amendment. I talk a lot about that Bradley Amendment, and I'm not going to discuss it here, but it all ties into that government owed debt. So the IRS Taxpayer Advocate Services for owing eligible individuals to forgo receiving economic impact payment, i.e. stimulus, that was supposed to be exempt from offset if paid timely, if they'd got it out to us, is a problem the law and the IRS have created. Since the spring, the IRS reassured taxpayers that if they claimed the RRC when they filed their 2020 returns, they will receive the stimulus money they are eligible for. So they created that, and they did it on purpose. Like we all know they did it on purpose. They think that they act like they want to help us when we're going through this pandemic, and then they take it back. So all this money is just going back to the government. So here's something that's available. If you don't have a child support arrears and you're wondering about your taxes, this is something that they say is not widely known and offered to people that owe back taxes. But I want to talk to you guys about not only asking them or telling them that we need this for child support offset as well. I don't know, Tommy, but I'm down to do a show. Whoever wants to do a show, I'm not into arguing and all that kind of stuff. I just want to present the information, and hopefully we can talk about it and share what's going on. That's my only objective. So this program is called the Offset Bypass Refund Process, which allows taxpayers who experience economic hardship to request that the IRS bypass any offset to their refund to repay tax debts. So that should be applied. If it's applied to tax debtors, it should be applied to non-custodial parents who allegedly owe child support debt, because the reasons are the same: economic hardship. But what I can find out, it only applies to tax debt. This is not, but should be available to parents who allegedly owe child support debt. Almost everyone is having problems paying their basic and necessary needs, living expenses, or that need money to prevent hardships such as eviction, utility shutoff, or an inability to meet their basic needs. That's what the Taxpayer Advocate Program is saying, why this program, the offset bypass refund program, is in effect. So those things affect parents as well. So let me see. So the economic impact caused by the COVID has resulted in jobless claims higher than any prior recession based on records dating back to 1967. So we have the proof that people are suffering. Unemployment is record number is high. So just like they can bypass tax debt, they should be able to bypass child support debt. And the Economic Policy Institute reported that 25.7 million workers in the US remain officially unemployed or otherwise out of work due to the pandemic and have experienced a reduction in work hours or pay. So that just goes on. It's not just a set class of people. This doesn't just apply to taxpayers. Everybody is going through this global pandemic. So the reasons the reasons recommended by the Taxpayer Advocate, I'm sorry, let me go back. The IRS Taxpayer Advocate Service has recommended that the IRS should use its discretion to issue RRCs without offset against federal tax debts. And when I say federal tax debt, I'm not gonna keep going on. Just input child support debt, okay? Because that's why I want you to kind of get in your mind, like, this is the same thing. So these two debts should be treated the same as far as relief. So here are the reasons that they recommend this. Many taxpayers who are likely to be offset because they cannot afford to pay their bills and have unpaid debts are the ones who need the relief the most. Second, the American Bar Association suggested the following when offering relief. One being that the IRS automatically apply the offset program, forgiveness program procedure to any offset of unpaid federal taxes for individuals with incomes under 250% of the federal poverty guidelines. Thirdly, President Biden, I'm sure people do that. Maybe not. I'm sorry. President Biden issued an executive order relating to the pandemic, which requires executive agencies to, quote, identify actions they can take within existing authorities to address the current economic crisis resulting from the pandemic, and in doing so, to prioritize actions that provide the greatest relief to individuals, families, and small businesses, end quote. That applies to everybody so often, and now they've been doing it for a while, treating non-custodial parents as less than second-class citizens. Everything that they have described here for recommendations for any kind of debt relief applies to parents as well. So this was something that we can be proactive in contacting President Biden, his cabinet, the Senate, the Congress, and tell them, look, y'all are protecting one class of people. That's taxpayers, when the debt goes beyond taxpayers, because child support debt is treated just like a tax debt, if not more. The punishments, I think, are even harsher because they use debtor prisons, suspended license. They go beyond what the IRS does. So this is something that, again, make your voice heard. Contact our legislators. You know, we voted them in. They work for us. So thank you. So they work for us. So this is something that we need as a community out here. They don't need any more. Trust me, the federal government, the state governments don't need any more money of our money. They have plenty of it. So these provisions must include removing the offset of taxes for low-income parents and parents experiencing financial hardships due to COVID. This is something that's going on right now. It's real. And just like we just experienced this storm down here in Texas, and I mean, it was shut down. Y'all would not even believe it. I never thought in my life I would see anything like that. It was just, so I'm sure the child support payments are still going to be due. even though we couldn't move. I'm telling you, you couldn't do anything for a week. So this is the kind of stuff, like, if everybody else is getting relief, so should parents. Just because you don't live in a household or you're not married to your parents, the other parent, does not make you less than a citizen that is deserving of these rights. Okay, so let me see. I'll go off and then I got to find my place. But thanks for sticking with me, guys. Thanks for being on this live. I hope this information is helpful for you guys. It's helpful for me, and I like to share the information with everybody. If I find out something like this, I'm like, they always got a trick up their sleeve. You know, pay the money right now so you don't have to go back and take the money, which is all they're doing. So we got to stop. We got to stop letting them rob us through child support, through other means. The time is over. People struggling too hard out here. It's rough. So let me see. The Advocate Services states, rightfully so, that offsetting the RRC against federal tax debt runs counter to the objective of the stimulus payments, which allows people who are struggling to receive funds that will help with our basic needs. They're counterproductive. Yeah, we're going to give you money to stimulate you and help you pay your bills, but at the same time, we're going to take it right back. How is that beneficial for us, the citizens? Don't forget, that's our taxpayer money. Remember, this is a credit. This money, all this is credit to what we already paid. So they're playing again with our money, and they do it worse with, or more with non-custodial parents. And I know y'all parents know who haven't received an income tax refund in however long you've been on child support. Y'all know what I'm talking about, and it's not right. Economic slavery, you sure right. So let me see. This should also apply to child support debt, especially with the nearly $24 billion that's allegedly owed to the government. That government owed debt. Here we go back to that, and that's why I started the petition, so we could petition the Biden administration to erase all state owed child support debt, government owed child support debt. That money is not going to go back to any children or get paid. It's going back into the government's pocket. So the petition, and you can get it, you can sign it at the childsupporthustle.com, sign it, share it again, share it again. The petition will basically have them erase all of that debt. And like I said, it's almost 24 billion now. And I have the detail, like why, what's the reasons. I've added links and resources in there. So you can go, and if anybody says, well, why should it be erased? You can go in there and be like, well, here, check this out. Let me send you this link, because we need everybody to sign it. Especially if you're getting affected by this RRC, which I never even heard. They implemented the RRC just to rob people of the stimulus check that they sent out to help people. See, that's that fast talking. That's that child support hustle. Hey, any way that we as citizens, as parents, can better the situation that our kids are about to come into, as far as especially child support. Like I've said before, I have an adult son and an adult daughter, and they don't have any children yet, but when they do, we're going to be completely ready. Hopefully all this stuff will be gone and done and over with. All this child support hustle BS, and how they, robbing parents, and, one parent has more right to the other parent, and shared parenting is like, it's not even something that's considered. We want 50-50 shared parenting, zero child support. The only time you should be on child support if that's what both parents want, not because you apply for public benefits, because you're poor, and so they make you sue the other parent. I always see and always hear, fathers wouldn't be on child support if they took care of their kids. That is just not true. If the custodial parent is struggling and have to apply for public benefits, they have to sue. So back to this. I'm sorry, I go on. So they say it's punitive and makes less economic sense in this context. And waiving the offset of RRC-based refunds will help meet the plan set forth in the Biden executive order. So they're saying this they're supporting all of this. Give the citizens their money, but they're not talking about child support. So this is where we come in and say, hey, you need to include child support in this debt forgiveness. All the stuff that y'all saying, child support debt needs to be included in that as well. Especially as we continue to fight through this COVID pandemic. Like, this stuff is rough. People are struggling. So that's my video and what I want to talk about. I hope the information helped you. I'm going to put every source that I used for this information, I'm going to put in the description so you can go back and look and find out, if you're going to get your stimulus money. If you didn't get it, now you know that you're probably not going to receive it. And at least it's going to hopefully answer some questions that you guys have about the third round of stimulus, tax offset, and stuff like that. If you want to sign the petition, please do. Please sign and share. If you can get it at thechildsupporthustle.com. If you want a copy of my book, The Child Support Hustle, you can get it at my website, thechildsupporthustle.com. We also have t-shirts. I don't know if you can see that, and masks. So we want to be safe so we can get this pandemic over with, whether you believe it or not. I don't know. I'm just like, let's get back to normal, as normal as we can get back to. Thank you, staff. I appreciate you. Okay, so I'm gonna look and see if I have any other questions. And I think I got, besides me getting off track, and I'm working on it, guys. I'm not a great public speaker, so every time I come on here or make a video, I'm nervous. I'm stumbling around, but I'm trying, because this is important information, and this is my passion, and whatever I can find out, I want to share. You're welcome. Thank you, Steph. Okay, guys, don't forget, hit the like button, share, subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, please come over to YouTube, because I'm probably the Facebook page is probably going to go down. I mean, I don't know. We might keep it. It's in limbo, but most of our information is going to be either on Twitter, on YouTube, and Instagram. Oh, thank you, Marcus. It's every time I just run around the house like, okay, I gotta get ready. But before, I wouldn't talk at all. I was not a public speaker. I would not speak in the public. So this is a big deal. This is me moving on. Like my friend Darius McCrary, his mom, Miss Shay, she's a good friend of mine. And when I first met her, I said, oh no, I'm not going to public speak. I'm too shy for that. And she told me straight up, you can't advocate and be shy. That don't go together. So I went to working on it. So yeah, thank you guys for your continued support. Send your email your questions. We're going to be, like I said, starting up the Child Support Hustle radio show here soon. So if you want to come on and share your story, please, get with me. cshustle1@gmail.com is the email address. Other than that, I hope this information helps, and I will be back. I'm going to do a video very soon, like in the next week, about a new law that they're trying to pass in Minnesota. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you have your notifications on, because they're passing bills to take more money from parents and children, but they're not doing anything or doing very little to counteract that. I mean, how much money do they expect? How much money do they think we have? All right. Ja Rastafari, Wagwan. I was just in Jamaica last year. I love it there. All right. Thank you, guys. Please share, please like, and as always, be kind to one another. We can fight this together, okay? In any fight, just be kind. It's a cold world out here. Remember, they can ignore hundreds, they can ignore thousands, but they cannot ignore millions. Let's go. Love you too.